I am Lady Vanessa Donko, a dedicated human rights defender, advocate, and activist with a heart for justice, dignity, and transformation. I hold a degree in human resource management and also a certified fashion designer, blending administrative insights with creative empowerment. My unwavering commitment to advocacy earned me the Activist of the Year award in school, a recognition of my bold voice and consistent stand for social justice. I am passionate about advancing human rights, especially for women and marginalized groups, and building systems that support freedom and equity for all. As the founder of Chawe Umanye Foundation, I lead a mission to spread faith, hope, and love to all.
Oh, thank you so much, Vanessa, for that beautiful introduction. Like you can see, my guest today is Vanessa from Ghana, and it's good to have her on the show. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, welcoming you to Shagalinku TV. So let's head up straight to meeting Vanessa the more. Vanessa, thank you so much for that introduction. You are you're a very strong woman, and you've given so much to the society. So let me also ask this. How was it like growing up for you? Some musicians or actors will say they started music from their mother's womb. So how did activism start for you? Is it as a result of seeing young girls on the street who are going through a whole lot of issues and you felt that, like, you know what, Vanessa, I'm going to do this? So take us through your journey of how activism started for you.
Activism began for me with awareness. When I started questioning why marginalized persons were taught to shrink themselves, why human beings were dismissed, overlooked, and sometimes harmed. I saw how things around me didn't work, how they weren't just right, they didn't sit right with me. Like inequality, silence, fear, human beings were living in fear, and I couldn't stay silent. Because if I stay silent, I am part of the problem. So that discomfort pushed me to act. And I started by educating myself, by educating others as well. For me, activism is like reclaiming space and creating it for others as well.
So let's come to your fashion journey. First of all, how do you juggle all of this together? You know, being a Jesus girl, being a fashion entrepreneur, also being an artist, and then a musician, dancer, and all of that put together. So tell us how you juggle all of this together. And then I'd also like to know your fashion journey. How did it start for you?
Well, I don't see it as juggling. I see it as living fully, living to the fullest of my life. To many, it may seem as I'm juggling like very different things: advocacy, humanitarian work, fashion, HR, singing, dancing, drawing, and my commitment to God. People may see it as different things, but for me, they are all deeply connected by one core purpose. That is restoring dignity, giving hope, giving light, spreading light. Yeah. And I don't see them as competing lanes. I don't see them in two different lanes. I see them as branches of one tree. Each one feeds into another. So yeah, I've learned to prioritize, to delegate, and most importantly, to stay rooted in the why. That's how I manage it all.
Okay, so I know I've asked you about your fashion journey of being a fashion entrepreneur. I'd like you to do this one too. So how did spoken words, your artistry, your dancing, and your singing, how did all of them come about? At what point did you know that you have a flair for music and all of that?
At which point? I don't have a particular point where I started like going into my artistic side. So I loved singing. I love watching people sing. I love music. So I joined my church based on singing. I joined them for singing purposes. At a very young age, I joined their children's choir. And yeah, for the other aspects, if you ask at which point, I can't tell, because if I love something, if I enjoy something, if I decide to do something and I check and it's in alignment with my purpose, I'm going to give it my all. And if I give something my all, that's it. I become a master of it. So everything I do, everything you see me do well, is because I love doing it. It's because I enjoy doing it. It's because I've aligned it to my purpose, and it aligns. And I have given it my all. I have dedicated myself to doing it.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. We're still on Shagalinko TV, and my name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari from Nigeria. I'm having a wonderful and vibrant conversation with Vanessa all the way from Ghana. Vanessa, do you remember when you were tagged the Ghanaian? Remember who told you that, or who nicknamed you the Ghanaian? Well, the viewers, you will not know who did that, but Vanessa will reply to this. So I'll ask you this very vital question. How did your parents support you in your journey? Because I know a lot of parents would say they want their children to study law, medicine, engineering, and all of that. How was it like for you? Who supported you more, your mom or your dad? And a follow-up question to that is, what are some of the programs or shows or concerts that you have attended so far where your creativity came to light, where you used your creativity to the fullest? Take us through that journey, but particularly to also know who supported you most in this journey of your creative industry or creative entrepreneurship. Take us through that.
The Ghanaian. Yes. I was tagged the Ghanaian. And we all know who tagged me the Ghanaian. Anyway, I've actually been blessed with a circle of people who have helped shape my creative journey in unique ways. My family, my mother, my father, my siblings, they've all given me space to explore and express myself. My spiritual mother constantly reminds me to stay focused on my purpose, not only talents. She always constantly reminded me. And also my fashion teacher, she actually opened my eyes to details, discipline, and boldness to express my creative. Yes. And honestly, to myself, I have really supported myself. I've been able to push through fears, self-doubts, unknown path, and with God on my side, with God's help, I have been able to push through. So yes, to myself as well. As a side writer, I used to write for others, spoken word, books, music, and performances. But I never like owned my voice up until recently when I was tasked to write and perform a piece for International Women's Day. That moment actually like changed a lot for me, because I always wanted to be in the background, not being in front and doing everything. But that moment actually changed for me. And also I have performed theater drama. I have helped stitch for contestants in a beauty pageant. I also tutored others in arts and theater during that same pageantry. I've sung, I've danced, and recently I joined some creatives outside Ghana to exhibit an arts design or arts designs, yes. So each creative step was built with people who believed in me, people who didn't talk down on me. Yeah, that has been my greatest support.
Wow, oh wow, thank you so much, Vanessa, for that very honest answer. Recently you were in Nigeria, Abuja precisely, and you did a whole lot of trainings for creative minds. Briefly tell us how that training has impacted your life, and how you intend maybe using the fallouts and lessons learned from those trainings to further use it in your day-to-day activity or what you do in Ghana. Take us through the journey. I need to know how you got selected, how you prepared for the journey, and how you traveled all the way from Accra to Abuja, and how it's been all through the journey. If possible, tell us briefly too the people you met, wonderful people you met, and how the journey has been for you.
Tala workshop. First of all, I will start with like how I was selected. So a form was sent and I failed. I failed the form. I think the form actually asks you if you are creative, what you have done, and then there was a point where you put your social handles, certain social media handles. So you put your link there, then I think the selection process starts from there. So they go through it, and then they go through your social media handle as well, and that's how I was selected. I believe that's how everybody else was selected. So yeah, I think we're about 312 or 13 of us were selected. Yes, at the Teller workshop in Abuja, I had the privilege to encounter amazing creatives like yourself, Ambassador Emmanuel, who are very passionate about theater, spoken word, singing, dancing, and so much more. Being in that space actually reminded me of the power of creativity, and not just the power of expressing yourself, but also the power it has as a tool for advocacy and transformation. The session also gave me more insights on perspective and challenges. Yeah, it gave me like a different view of things, and it also challenged me to explore how my own gift can speak louder for the cause that I stand for, that causes that I care about. Yeah, and I was actually very grateful to have experienced that, and for the people, about the people I met. You guys were amazing. You guys were amazing because when I actually leave Ghana, I actually limit myself to certain things, because wherever you are, whichever country you are in, that's not your country. So you don't just go around jumping and so I make sure I limit myself. I make sure like I have this wall around me. But at the Tala workshop, I think at a point somebody asked, did they intentionally handpick or select us? Because we synced. It was amazing. The sync was so amazing. We do different things. That's when I realized that even with creatives, in as much as we do different things, spoken word, singing, dancing, painting, even though we do different things, filmmaking and other things, we are just like one tree again with different branches. We are just like one community. So it was amazing. They were cool, they were chill. Everybody was amazing. I loved it there.
So, whilst we celebrate all that you have achieved, I'd also like us to talk about the challenges you faced, because a lot of times as activists, people don't also realize that you're a human being. Sometimes activists get trolled, get dragged in the social media and all of that. What are some of the challenges you faced? Particularly, I'd like you to tie it down to challenges that young girls and women face in day-to-day life, where they need to eke a living for themselves. We're still in Africa, where even the basic things of girl child education is seen as a luxury for the African girl child. So take us through some of the challenges that you have faced, and the challenges that African women and girls face in achieving their dreams, their goals and aims, and all of that.
So technically, people in the creative industry, as creatives, are not taken seriously. People who sing, people who do spoken word, they're like, what is that one? That one's in a job. Be a lawyer, be a doctor. But those of us in the creative industry are not taken serious. So that is I would say that's one of the main limitations personally. That's one of my personal limitation. Not being taken serious. And because you're not being taken serious, you are not moved to a place like where you can bloom, where you can actually become what you are, or what you are meant to become. Yeah, I've also battled with limited access to resources in general, mentorship and platforms to grow freely. I've had challenges there. And on a more broader point, many African women have faced a vast range of challenges. We have cultural expectation You are expected to prioritize marriage and silence every other dream that you have. And we have systematic barrier, like from lack of funding. Yeah. We also have internalized limitation. So this is when the society has actually poisoned your mind to the extent of you limiting yourself, of you questioning your own potential. That is also something that African women actually face. That's a challenge. But even with these challenges, we as African women, even with these challenges, we create out of scarcity. We create from scarcity. Even with all these limited whatever, we still create. We still speak even when we are not heard. We still speak. And I believe that with the right amount of resources, of opportunities, and a shift in how society values women's contribution, we can not only dream, but those dreams will be a reality. They'll become real, they'll become loud, and they'll be amazing.
So finally, I wish we could just go on and on and on talking with you. It's usually a pleasure when we talk, you know. So I'd like to ask, what should we expect from Vanessa? What are you doing in the next couple of months, couple of years? What should we expect and all of that?
To expect from me, expect something big, something crazy, something out of the normal Vanessa that you know. Expect something different, because right now every limitation, every doubt, whatever has been cleared, so it's over for everybody. Expect something big in the next minute, in the next month. Just expect it.
So there's something we do on the show once in a while. We ask our guests to say a word of greetings to their support mechanisms, their friends, their loved ones, people who have been there for them. We recognize that as activists, you still have team of people who help you in your line of work, who are always there to hold the fort for you while you go around doing your other field works and all of that. So who would you like to send your greetings to as we wrap up the show now?
Acknowledgement. I would tip my hat, being the Jesus girl, to God. God has been everything. God has helped me. God is God. Yeah, so firstly, I want to thank God for everything, for me, for my mind, for my brain, my beautiful brain, how it works and everything. I want to thank God. I want to thank my circle, my family, my friends. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the people of Ghana, of Greater Accra. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the people I work with at Courageous Sisters Ghana. They've been amazing. And I want to thank my church, Faith Assemblies of God, Ghana. Yes. So I want to thank them as well. And I want to thank me. Lastly, I want to thank you, Ambassador Emmanuel, for this opportunity. Thank you so much. I don't take it lightly. I appreciate it. And thank everyone for watching.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'm sure you enjoyed this beautiful interview from Vanessa, all the way from Accra, Ghana. It's been amazing talking with her. And thank you to Vanessa for finding time to have this interview with us on Shagalinko TV in spite of a very, very busy schedule. And to everyone, remember to join us on our social media handles. It's at Shagalinko on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all our social media handles. Search for Achagalinko TV and join us and join the conversations. Vanessa is one of the series of the Tala interviews that we'll be doing. So check out for who is the next Tala person that we will be interviewing. If you can guess correctly in the comment section, there's a prize for you. I remain Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari from Shagalinko TV, Nigeria. God bless you all and see you on the next episode. Bye.
We need love and light. We need hope and truth. We need to come together to make the world